What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? What's good, people? What is up? What is up? They went from the fourth level of hell and sent us down to the seventh level of hell. Why? Because then you got Kwanzaa pulling out her titties. The whore pulled out her titties. And these whore bags over here started feeling and fondling on her tits. Mike.
I don't have it to do with you. Girl, you can go over there, rant and rave. Girl, you can shake all your rainbow bright hair all you want, dear one. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this with you, dear one. I'm not doing this with you, dear one. I don't have nothing to do with you, and I'm done. Baby, you can scream my name from the rooftops from now till Jesus come back. I'm done after this.
Introduced to Tick's Meat. Do you see what I see? Did y'all really let Hello Casting Wardrobe? Y'all let him roll up out of wardrobe with these fans on, giving us all of this, thinking we were not going to see it? We have been waiting with bated breath and anticipating all season long for the slightest glimpse, and y'all just put it out there this episode in all of its magnificent glory.
Listen, that young man said, "Baby, you ate on this first date. You giving up the cooch on the first date, okay? Well, you gonna run me my coins? Run me my cooch or run me my coins? Run me my cooch or run me my coins? Run me my cooch or run me my coins." That's our new theme song. That is the new song. Listen, somebody need to put a beat to that. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. That's what y'all got going on.
Called out Sandcastle. Sand, bitch. Ow. Oh my God, it was so funny, girl. Woo, baby, listen, let me tell you something. This shit started to turn into the precursor for some gay porn. That's what I thought it was. Because Big T is getting all, the voice starting to go deeper and get a little more wet and moist and sentimental and all this shit. And it was real gay at this point. Like, I thought the bitches was supposed to, I thought Lil Bird was going to turn Big T around and do him like he did Uncle Cliff and do the grease it up with City Lou and ran right in there. It's not a coincidence that Big T started off the conversation by trying to find out if Lil Bird was fucking Mercedes, which he found out he's not. It's also not a coincidence that he would start talking about prison. Why? Because the bitches was probably fucking in prison. Girl. Uncle Cliff, you better go get your man. Big T got plans for that. Well, he had it on look like something Big Bird vomited up or something like that. Like, I did not like it. That Big Bird couture he was going for, it did not work. Like the pastor of a gay mega church on Easter Sunday. Okay, it was way too much sequins. He had way too much makeup. Baby, his face looked like Yala Van Zap's neckline. Okay, just way too much makeup, clumped here everywhere on his face. Get it together, sweetheart. Like, you're a big girl, so that gives you a whole lot of canvas. So that was a whole lot of makeup, honey. Yeah. Rico looked like he was auditioning to be one of the three kings, or he was auditioning to be the main character on Jesus Christ Superstar. Girl, Wayne, did you have on a blue thong or a blue G-string or something? If you did, I want to see it. If you have my DMs, I do want to see if you have a blue thong or a blue Joshua or something like that. I'd love to see it. Anyway, but I liked it with the turtleneck. Now, Troy.
Hey y'all, what's going on? I'm coming. Give me a moment. Get myself ready. All right, let's do this. We're here, bada bing, bada boom. Bam. We're here. We are here. Listen, can I tell y'all when I have the intro playing in the background? That's how I kind of test myself to see how up to how up to par I am. I check my voice on the part. I'm gonna tell you my little cues. So on the part where we're talking about Jonathan Majors from Lovecraft Country, and I do I always try to say, let me make sure I can hit my pitch. Oh man, I go. See if I can hit that, then I know, okay, my voice doing all right. My little cue to make sure that I'm on time is Jesus Christ Superstar. You always got to sing in the background, run me my cooch or run me my coins. I'm just saying. This isn't so good. So my friend recommended this as opposed to me drinking a Red Bull, right? This is Gatorade's energy drink or whatever. It's supposed to have caffeine and electrolytes. It may have it, but it just doesn't taste good. I'm gonna finish it though. All right. So, welcome to the politics of it all. We're here today. What's good, people? What is up? Lemon Kush Pepper, Volvo, Tracy, W, Janae, Montrez, Jason. Shout out to Jason. Congrats to Jason. Jason knows why we're congratulating him. Those of us in the members only chat know why we're congratulating Jason. But shout out to Jason. Congrats to you, bruh. You know we've been in the paint for you for a bit now, and we happy for you. Montrez, hey, lovely 31 Blueprint, Tracy C, Diamond Pearl Gem, what Yvette? What's up, y'all? Hey, 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 hey. Um, hey everybody. Let's talk some politics today. Let's get down. Listen, the crowd during the politics of it all is a little thinner all of the time, but y'all know this is the bread and butter. This is how the bills get paid. The bills get paid with the politics of it all. So we love doing the politics of it all around here. This is, this is how we have come to be who we are from the politics of it all. So I am so glad and excited to be able to bring all of this to you. So listen, of course, I have some sugar spikes. Let me ask you this. Do you want your sugar spike moments now? Or do you want to wait for your sugar spike moments? Let me know. Do you want sugar spiky moments now? Or do you want to wait for your sugar spiky moments? Let me know what you want. Let me know. Shit, I'm sorry, y'all. I just got distracted by something. Um, oh, Google is celebrating its 25th birthday. Well, happy birthday to the Googles. Give it to you up front. All right, news gets broke here. Listen, we do break news here. Listen, news gets broke here, honey. This is where news comes to get broken. Speaking of broken, I had to talk to one of my mentees today, and I had to give him when I said broken, I had to give him my broken plate lesson. He's one of my mentees. He's 23. He's in grad school and working at the same time. And he has a lot going on. A lot of people pulling him in a lot of directions. And so he says to me, I just got too much on my plate. I mean, he said, I can't handle it. It's too much going on. I got to start telling people no because I have too much on my plate. And I told him, I said, do you know when you were growing up, young man, how many people had to break a plate just to get you to be at the point where you are right now? So many people, your parents, family members, loved ones, had to sacrifice, put up with a whole lot of shit. And they had too much on their plates. And sometimes their plates even broke. They had broken plates all over the place, had to break a plate just to get you through school or to get you to the point where you are now. So it's very disrespectful for you to be like now, oh, I got too much on my plate. I got to start telling people no. No, sir. No, sir, young man. You were not raised like that. Never be afraid to break a plate to make things better for somebody behind you. So I will gift that to you. Never be afraid to break a plate to help out somebody behind you because you never know who they're going to be and what they're going to become. And that's where broken plate comes from. Because people say that all the time, I got too much on my plate. It's too much to handle. Sometimes you got to break the plate and then go get a bigger one. Break the plate, go get a bigger one. And then when it's too much on that one, sometimes you got to break that plate and go get a bigger one. But never be afraid to break a plate for somebody that needs your help and assistance. Even if they do you wrong, it still comes back better to you. Exactly, Jason. So I just wanted to tell y'all that because when somebody said broken, I thought about I just got off the phone with him having that conversation. So anyway, so y'all said y'all want the sugar spiky moments up front. Me and my son was just talking about if he wants to just stay in school and get his master's or if he wants to just start working. See what I'm saying? So many times, as an adult, as parents, as loved ones, as guardians, you make all types of sacrifices that goes unspoken, unsaid. You never get thanked for it. You never get a pat on the back. You never get told, you know what? I appreciate you. I'm grateful for that. So I will say to you, I am grateful to each and every one of you all in my chat. I don't know what it is. I don't know what you've done, but right now you probably doing a whole lot of stuff for a whole lot of people and thinking these ungrateful ass bastards do not give a shit about me. They don't give a damn. Everybody coming down my neck and nobody, trying to appreciate me. I appreciate each and every one of you all of my wonderful subscribers, no matter who you are. Those of you all who got a bunch of broken plates on your own proverbial floors, I see you. I appreciate you, and it does not go unspoken and unsaid how great you are and how much you mean to all of us here in this world. I know that's right, Tracy. Tell him, listen, you ain't got no kids. Go ahead, finish it out. So that is my appreciation to you. Never let it be said that I was not appreciative to you all. People say I'm such a mean and horrible person. I can be nice sometimes. You know what? I'm feeling nice today. I'm feeling good today. No late bail, no essays today. How about that? See how good I'm feeling today? Group hug. Oh, group hug. This is my old channel. My old channel. They know what that is. Group hug. Oh, group hug. If you're on my old channel, you would know what that is. So broken plates and cracked Pyrex. Yes. Diamond Pearl Gym. Yes. Group hug. So now tomorrow, I can't help y'all. Today is grace. We're gonna have grace and mercy today. Tomorrow, we might be up to 20,000 word essay. I don't know what to tell you, but we're gonna relish it today. We'll let tomorrow be tomorrow. Hey, Spicy Original, my love. What's going on, boo? All right, and with that, we needed some good news. We needed to hear something good. You know what I'm saying? Before we get to our show, speaking of good, let me look at some of my booze, some of my palate cleansers. So you know that I love. There you go. Hey, y'all know how I feel about man. Hey, man. Ooh, hey, Tyler. I just needed to see that before we get to our sugar spike. We got some real spiky moments. All right, ladies and gentlemen, non-binary, gender-conforming members of our audience, I present to you your sugar spike segment.
You see, this is the part that I like. Major sugar spike.
So now, I want to fight. That he gave, his only begotten son.
Major sugar spike.
And shall ever believe.
Major sugar spike.
They shall not perish, but have everlasting life.
Taste the biscuit.
Jesus!
I wish somebody help me.
Taste the biscuits. Child, so wait, I just closed my whole browser, God. You know what? let me get this out the way now. Let me get this one out the way now. This isn't political in nature, but it's still spiky. Do not blame me for this. Do not blame me for this. The entirety of the blame for this, hold on. The entirety of the blame for our first sugar spike segment can be placed on Xavier. Where the hell is Xavier? Um, hey Cams, what's good, boo? Hey Miss Trisha P. Hey y'all. What's going on? Yeah, the entirety of this sugar spike, I mean this first sugar spike moment can be placed at the feet of the blame can be placed at the feet of Xavier Myers, who's not yet here. So yeah, let me cue this up. Cue this up for you, and you can blame Xavier. Hmm. Uh-huh. So the other day we talked about the troglodyte that is Erica Mena. That was yesterday. And we talked about her antics. Did she call herself going off on Love and Hip Hop because at MTV because they want shit and tried to make it as if she wasn't the problem. And now MTV said, "Oh, really? That's what you're doing? You forgot we do have eight." And then you have this. Hold on, let me make sure. Hold on.
I wanted to talk to you. Calling. I wanted to talk to you. Calling a black person a monkey. Listen.
Hold on, y'all.
I was
I'm sorry.
offended.
I'm sorry.
And let me tell you.
Sorry, y'all. Sorry, y'all. Let me rewind it. I want to make sure because I don't know if my computer's buffering or something like that. But I want to make sure you get, the full context. Hold on. Let me reload it. Hold on, y'all. Sorry about this. Sorry. We're better than this. At least I am. My internet, not so much. But come on. All right, there we go. Okay, let me pause it. All right. Has it not? Oh dear God. Hold on, y'all. Eventually, I think I'm gonna just move my setup to that wall over there so I can be closer to the router because I found out that's the problem. The router is on the other side of the house. So I'm like the farthest point being on this wall from the router, which presents a bit of a problem. Oh, just dropping shit. What's wrong with you, L Teddy? All right. All right. Let's see if this works. Hopefully, we got it now. All right. Let's try it this time. Bada bing. Bada boom. Hey, Harold. Let's try it this time. Come on. All right. Here we go.
I wanted to talk to you. Calling a black person a monkey. Listen. I was offended.
You was offended.
And let me tell you,
because you chose to be offended,
no.
Andy.
I was offended
because you know me. No one's going to violate me using my child. There's no boundaries at that point. Once you cross that line, I even told her she should have died on that table.
But what you said to her
and what she said to me,
when you called her a monkey, you insulted every person of African descent.
No,
let me explain to you
guys that want to be offended by it.
You think I want to be offended by 400 years of slavery?
Do.
The reason why
I have 23.
Yes.
Why,
And this is the
as
thing.
minorities, are we comparing ourselves to something that?
The problem, Erica, this is the problem.
Okay.
And that's why I want to know.
That's what I don't understand.
Well, and this is exactly why I wanted to have the conversation with you.
The bitch crossed the line. She violated me by coming for my son, and I will do it all over the game if she does it again. It's just point blank, period. You're not gonna violate me using my kid in any type of way.
So you're saying you would do,
So it
you
is
would
what
say
it
the
is.
same thing all over again?
I didn't say I would say the same thing.
Oh.
If I have to violate this bitch for talking about my kid, I will.
Okay.
Okay? Was it wrong? Yes. But at the same time, how dare she? I'm Puerto Rican and Dominican. I have black in my family. I have black children. I married a black man. My sister's the same color as you. We came out the same. There's not a racist bone in my body. I'm just as black as probably all of you.
I don't even know where to begin. I have no idea where to begin to break down how problematic that is. You could just see my video from yesterday. She's a problem. I continue to blame Mona Scott Young and MTV for giving trash like that a platform, for giving her a venue with which to do that. And she did all of that. Now, I feel like, well, two things. It was enough just what MTV showed us on the episode. But for all of those people that are saying, oh, it wasn't that bad. Oh, she's not horrible. Oh, she didn't mean it like that. Oh, she didn't. They should have played that. And all of the people defending her, the Bambis of the world. But I told y'all, Bambi is trash anyway. She's a trash ass bitch anyway. But I've been through that. All of the people that are her, who is that? Just hilarious defending her, and all of these people talking about how, oh, well, she didn't mean. Well, when you say something to somebody, you're allowed. When somebody says something about your child, you're allowed to do that. The woman never said nothing about that woman's child. Let's be clear. Spice never talked about that woman's child. And for anybody saying that Spice talked about that woman's child, you're an idiot. She never said anything about the woman's child. If she wanted to, see, the problem is Erica Mena don't know how to read nobody. And so what she does is she goes to what's in her heart. Racism, discrimination, elitism, superiority complexes, and everything like that. That's what she immediately goes to. Because let's be clear, I talk on this channel all the time about how horrible of a parent Spice is, because you got $1 million homes and all of these beautiful palatial estates here in America, but got your children down there in a third world country being raised by your mama. See, if you wanted to go down that road with her, Erica, there is a whole lot of runway that you had to go in on Spice about her own parenting. Let's be clear. But you chose to go with what was in your heart, which is racism, discrimination, and all of the other horrible things that you could think about. She's a horrible person inside and out. There are no redeeming qualities about her. None. I have nothing else to give to that. I really don't. Simply because I told y'all yesterday, the bitch ain't shit. She ain't never been shit. She will never be shit. And anybody, all of these people that placated to her, all of these people that have coddled her over all of these years, having seen her try. First of all, Yandy, you more than anybody else on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta know this bitch for who she is. Going back to Love and Hip Hop New York, I don't even understand why you even choose to be friends with her. Yandy, you go back with this whore and what the fuck she got going on. I don't even know why Yandy even entertains Erica, even wants to be in the same airspace as Erica Mena. No, ma'am. Hey, Yana Boo. Yana, you missed the first 10 minutes. We're in a good mood today. We don't have any essays today. Not yet. Somebody might come in here and say something. Just ruin that. We had a real good first 10 minutes of the show. Did we not have a good first 10 minutes of the show? We gave out good, wholesome words of wisdom. We in a great mood. And we said no essays today. Now tomorrow I can't help. Yeah, but there's no explaining away. First of all, her saying you chose to be offended is the most offensive thing that she's probably said on any platform. Those words right there, you chose to be offended, is probably even more offensive than the racial slur and epithet that she gave. That's even more offensive. And she effortlessly said that and said it multiple times and meant it. The fact that her face didn't become a part of the wall behind her is an act of God and shows how you continue to coddle that bitch. Because the moment that left, you chose to be offended, and she wouldn't even got the last syllable out, and her face would have been a part of the wall plaster. I'm just saying. Exactly, Lamone. Please say it for the people in the back. Because left to her own devices, she will never claim to be black. Ever. But now, when she wants to be able to use all types of racial slurs and stuff like that, now oh, I'm just as black as you. Oh, my sister's just as dark as you are. Baby, that and 2 nickels might get you a dime, meaning it ain't worth shit. I mean, I told you the most offensive part is you chose to be offended. Really? Really? You you chose to be offended? So what you're saying is, Erica, anytime I'm in a room and someone like you uses the N-word and at somebody in the room that's black also, I shouldn't be offended. I'm choosing to be offended. Right? I just don't understand it. You keep giving these people platforms. It's a mess. It's a mess. A whole mess. A whole ass mess. I'm trying. If you notice, I'm measuring myself. I'm doing my little breathing techniques. I'm doing everything I can, trying not to trigger myself into going in on this young lady because I can have a whole situation. Right. Remember Veronica Vega on Love and Hip Hop Miami I think that was season 1 of Love and Hip Hop Miami? A mess. Just like I'm not going because y'all always get offended, but I say the same thing about Cardi B. But y'all like to defend these people. I'm not here for it. I'm not here for it. Sorry. Meanwhile, they voting against their better interest. I'm trying not to get triggered, y'all. Y'all see I'm over here drinking and I'm all the way at the bottom of my damn energy drink. I'm trying not to get triggered, y'all. I'm trying so hard. Oh, y'all. There's nothing left in there, L. Teddy. Stop to drink. You gonna drink the plastic? Dear God, there's nothing left in there. All right, let me move on because I can see myself going down the road less traveled, and we don't want to do that. Mm-mm, 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 mm-mm. Speaking of other spiky moments out here, since we're in our whole sugar spike segment, right, Diamond Pearl Jim, I'm breathing, breathing, breathe. You're correct about that, Cams. You are correct. Whoo. Right. I need to go. Where is my? Let me go get my fan. Hello, y'all. Mm, I need my good fan, y'all. Cause girl. Okay. All right. Where's the fan? Ooh, just cool off. Oh, okay. Ooh, feel better now. All right, we might can make it. Ooh, child. Child. Yeah. Anyway, so y'all know I have been keeping y'all up to speed on the Daryl George incident in Texas with regard to his hair and him being suspended since since August 31st. And I've been, we just reported, I believe, Monday on the fact that his family is now suing the governor of Texas and the Texas Attorney General. Now, that's in the state of Texas. In the adjacent state of Louisiana, and we're talking about two states that have a large black population, right? We have this case. The case, another case where we have to discuss a black boy who's being persecuted out. That's the word I'm going to use because of his hair. Let me read the headline. Louisiana principal under fire after allegedly associating a student's cornrows with being in a gang. That's the headline. Let me read this to you. After learning their son's principal allegedly questioned the direction of his life because of his braids, Ashley and Damon Thorne decided to continue his education journey elsewhere. On May 15th, Calvary Baptist School student Dalen Thorne was excited to sport a new hairstyle, cornrows. Although he liked his new look, some of the faculty at the private school weren't a fan of it. According to Angeline Messman, the school's principal, some staff members voiced they were concerned even though it didn't violate the code of conduct manual. When Dalen's mom picked him up from school and wanted to know how his day went, he shared how he felt after Messman, that's the principal, allegedly asked him if his braids were symbolic of being a part of a gang. Quote, I picked him up just like normal and asked, how was your day? How did your friends like your braids? That's according to the mom. She goes on to say, quote, we're driving out of the parking lot and he said the principal pulled him aside today and asked if his braids represented being a gangster, end quote. She said she was upset and confused because the code of conduct states, quote, an acceptable well-groomed haircut is required of all male students, and hair will not reach shoulder length, nor will bangs be long enough to cover the eyes. Rat tail and mohawk haircuts are not acceptable. Dreadlocks and afros of 3 inches are not acceptable. Man buns and sculpting are not acceptable. Colored hair, feathers, and extreme styles are not allowed. End quote. She was shocked by the statement because her son's hair was in code. Mind you, that's a lengthy ass code, and basically you can't have no kind of hairstyle. But anyway, we're gonna keep it moving. And she immediately told her husband, ready to take a stand for their son and get clarification on why Principal Mesman allegedly said that. They met with her the next day. The Thorns recorded the entire conversation, which lasted for 16 minutes, to have proof. The audio allegedly captures the principal telling the parents that she had a one-on-one conversation with Dalen to ensure she didn't make him feel uncomfortable or humiliated in front of others. Quote, I've never had a student wear their braids like that. I've had teachers personally come to me and ask about his hair and what I thought about it. End quote. That's what the principal said to the parents. According to outlets, she went on to allegedly say that she asked the question in good taste because they're at a Christian school and she wanted to check in with Dalen since she had seen firsthand other students switch up and make negative life choices. Quote, I have seen children grow up in this school and I've seen them change. So I was just checking to see where we are. I just wanted to see his heart. Our culture is changing. Little boys used to have regular little haircuts. I'm seeing a lot of young people listening to a lot of rappers, pushing for drugs and doing things opposite of Christ. End quote. In addition to the ignorant suggestion that cornrows may be a sign of gang affiliation, the incident spread quickly and sparked conversation because the Crown Act, which prohibits employment discrimination based on hairstyles and hair textures historically associated with race, went into effect in Louisiana, in the state of Louisiana, on August 1st, 2022. Since Calvary Baptist School is a private institution, the law doesn't protect Dalen. It is unknown at this time if the Thorns are going to press any charges. Listen, I keep telling you all, we like to look at the holy trinity of racism, bigotry, and discrimination as if they are outliers when they are the norm. Louisiana is right next to Texas. You have some of the largest Black populations in states like Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, all across the South because of the remnants of slavery, of course. So you're going to have, some of the largest populations of Black people there. Please to be clear, while some of you all are scoffing at states like Florida and Texas, this stuff is happening in your own backyard. And if you do not get yourself involved with what's going on in your local communities, your children will have to be subjected to this level of racism and discrimination. It's happening all around you. And it just baffles my mind how people, especially Black people, sit back and say, oh, I don't want nothing to do with politics. Oh, I don't have time for that. When politics affects your whole life, your child can't even go to school with simple cornrows, with dreads. You could have a straight A student. Your student can be stellar. You could have a child with a 175 IQ score, giving no problems to the teacher. Baby walk in there with some cornrows or some dreads, and now all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying, you're a menace to society. This is what we got going on. And so when people have this whole, well, I ain't really got time to get involved with none of that, it's going to make time for you. Please be clear. Because I just read it's a private school. So that means that, we don't have to observe those laws about the Crown Act. We can set whatever rules we want to set. It's a private school where you're paying money to have people be racist and bigoted to your children. Welcome to America. These things are happening. I'm just saying. But I wanted to bring y'all that case of that young man, Dalen Thorn, to add to what we have going on with Daryl George over in Texas. so that you all can see this isn't an isolated incident. We had another incident, if you remember, I believe it was last year, early part of 2022, and no, yeah, it was no, it was around graduation time of 2022 or 2021 when we reported on a young man over in the Houston area that they told if he didn't cut his dreads, they weren't going to let him graduate. I believe that was 2021 though. No, it was 2022. It was 2022. It was around graduation time 2022. So like May, somewhere around there of last year. So I'm telling you, this stuff is rampant everywhere. In more sugar spiky moments, a black musician is in the news. His name is David Ryan Harris. He was on an American Airlines flight from Atlanta to Los Angeles and had his children with him, his two children with him, his two children with him. Now he has mixed children. His wife is white, he is black. His wife was not with him. It was just him and his children. So let me play let me play his video for y'all. Hold on one second, y'all. Let me cue this up for y'all. Come on. All right. Come on. Come on, work with me and not against me, please. Come on. Come on, you got this. I need this to play for the people. While that's coming up, let me give you some more context and details. So he's on the flight. The flight attendants ask his son some questions. The son, being introverted, clearly did not answer the lady, didn't want to answer her, and matter of fact, I don't have to answer you. I can not be bothered with you, ma'am. Why are you bothering me? You ask my daddy, don't ask me nothing. Because of that, when they got off, the flight attendant apparently went and called authorities. When they got off when the plane landed and they got off the plane, waiting at the end of the runway, of the little, thing that you deboard the plane with, was somebody from American Airlines and the police, because he was being accused of human trafficking. He was being accused of human trafficking. A mess. A whole ass mess. Just a damn mess. I'm trying to see if I can get this to come up for y'all. Hold on. See if I can't get this to come up for y'all. Because it's a whole mess. This is what we got going on. People can't even go out of town with their own goddamn kids in 2023. What are we talking about? How dare you? How dare you think that you can go somewhere like out of town with your kid? Oh, no. No, ma'am. No, sir. There'll be no traveling for you. Oh, you got kids of mixed descent that look a little more fair-skinned than you? Nah, them can't be your kids. You got to be human trafficking. Mind you, we just talked yesterday about people like Matt Gaetz, who is still a sitting member of Congress and has whole cases and real evidence of him sex trafficking whole ass people. But he still gets to sit in Congress and be a member of Congress and pass and enact laws that affect us with no consequence the first. But Black man minding his own business with his kids. Oh yeah, he must be human trafficking. That's got to be what's happening here. That's got to be what's happening here, right? A mess, a whole ass. I apologize. I wanted to try and get this um for y'all, but shoot, my whole internet done went completely out. Completely out. Like I'm not getting no signal at all now. It's just a mess. Thank God my phone is using my phone data and not my Wi-Fi. Cause this is a whole mess. I'm trying to make this come up for y'all. Hold on. This is a mess. See if I can't get this to come up. God.
Last Friday, my kids and I were flying from Atlanta to Los Angeles on an American Airlines flight. Upon our arrival in Los Angeles, we were met at the top of the jetway by an AA employee and 4 police officers. Apparently, a flight attendant had called ahead with some sort of concern that perhaps my mixed children weren't my children because they were unresponsive during an interaction with her. She asked them both their names, and one of them is just pretty shy. Like I always have to tell him, hey buddy, tell the guy your name, shake the guy's hand, look him in the eye, whatever. But that's not his vibe, and quite frankly, he doesn't owe that to anyone. So we're met, embarrassingly so, by this AA employee and police officers. And
Come, you know what? I apologize, y'all. This junk is getting on my nerves now. It's really getting on my nerves. You get the drift. I apologize, y'all. Um, yeah, I apologize. Um, but y'all get what's happening here. It has a picture of his son and everything, but it's just a mess. This is what your country is doing in this last and evil day. It's what your country has going on in this last and evil day. They don't care. They don't care. Do not care. So um that's that. I apologize. Like I said, I wanted to get that for you, but it's just not my I wanted to be able to bring that whole thing to you, but my internet is acting up. It's acting. If y'all remember, go back to my early days with my old computer. When my old computer used to be acting up, and I used to get real mad and try and throw my laptop and then just shut down my whole life because I would just be so angered and bothered. I'm getting to that point. So let me fan myself. I'm getting triggered again. My internet is bothering me now, and see, I'm getting upset, and it's upsetting me to the point where I just want to throw my whole laptop and just log off and just be mad. But I'm here, relax, relate, release. I'm not gonna get angry. It's gonna work out. Everything's gonna be okay. Don't worry, El Teddy. You'll be fine. Just keep going. Just breathe through it, and everything will be fine. Just breathe through it, El Teddy. Breathe through it. It's gonna be okay. Gonna get through this. Gonna make it happen. Just breathe. Just breathe. I'm gonna try this one more time. Doesn't work this time. I'm gonna throw my freaking laptop, and then I'm going to log the hell off because it's gonna upset my spirit. Okay. I wanted to show a picture of his son. This is his son. That is his son. Let me see if I can have him finish his story that he was telling.
last Friday, kids and I, American Airlines flight.
mm, mm. I'm gonna move on because I feel my anger at a fevered pitch, throbbing in my ears. My anger is growing. I'm trying not to anger myself. In another sugar spiky story, we have some 7 kids that have been taken into Child Protective Services custody from their mother and father on Monday. Let me read this. A Sellersville couple charged have been charged with neglecting their children. Their 7 children have been accused of beating, punching, suffocating, and threatening the kids, according to court documents. Shane Robertson, 47, and Crystal Robertson, 38, were arraigned Monday on multiple counts of misdemeanor simple assault and conspiracy. They were sent to Bucks County Jail on $500,000 and $250,000 bail, respectively. Shane Robertson faces an additional felony charge of strangulation for allegedly forcibly holding a blanket over the face of one daughter to the point she struggled to breathe. All right. Penridge Regional Police Department. I'm sorry. Police have been called to the family's 3-bedroom mobile home in April for a report of children taking items out of an abandoned trailer. The preliminary hearing on those charges is scheduled for next week. Penridge Regional Police Department reported officers found the children living in squalid conditions and suffering from malnutrition and other preventable health problems. Police allege that none of the children, who range from ages 4 to 16, have attended school, and some did not know their own birthdays. 24 pets. The 24 pets the couple owned. The couple owned 24 pets, including a 4-foot-long exotic lizard with its own TikTok account. The pets, though, were found to be well taken care of, according to police. The animals were seized and taken by the ASPCA. In forensic interviews after the allegation surfaced, the children reported numerous specific incidents of ongoing physical abuse by their parents. The children told interviewers they were routinely beat with hands, electrical cords, and a belt. Sounds kind of like my childhood a little bit, but I ain't gonna talk about that. We got beat by daddy and mommy a lot, end quote, one of the children said, according to the affidavit. Here are some of the other alleged incidents that happened, according to the affidavit. The children alleged their parents would beat them for taking food out of the refrigerator or their mother's purse when they were hungry. Police found the refrigerator secured with a bicycle lock, which Crystal Robertson said they put on because the children were, quote, stealing everything, end quote. The children said that they were, quote, being struck by the couple after the family dog was hit by a car after two children let the pet outside. One girl suffered a bloody nose after being punched by her father and then being dragged back into the trailer by her hair during an argument between the couple. The father threatened to suffocate one child, and the mother responded, "Do whatever you want. Kill them if you want." End quote. The father held a blanket over one child's face. Other children described the same incident in interviews, including a sibling who said she could hear her sister struggling to breathe and gasping for air. The father also allegedly gave a knife to the same child and told her to go into the bathroom and stab herself. Another time he told her to go behind the shed and kill herself. This is what we have going on in these yet to be United States of America. I keep telling y'all we need parenting parenting licenses. We need parenting license. That's what we need. That's exactly what we need in this country. If we can't get parenting licenses, something is wrong. I don't even know what to say about that. I have no words for that. Let's get to some political news. Chuck Schumer is refusing to ask Senator Menendez to step down. Now, if you don't know what's going on, Senator Bob Menendez of the great state of New Jersey has all types of fraud allegations against him. Hey, D, what's going on? He has all types of fraud allegations against him. And many are calling for him to resign. He has refused to resign. He says, "I am innocent and I will be found found innocent on all of these charges." And Senator Chuck Schumer today declined to join the growing group of people who are asking for Bob Menendez to resign. Here's what Schumer said, quote, "Like you, I was just deeply disappointed, just as deeply disappointed, disturbed when I read the indictment. Look, I've known Senator Menendez for a very long time, and it was truly, truly upsetting. At least 30 members of the Democratic caucus, including members of Schumer's leadership team, have called for Menendez to resign. According to CNN's count on Wednesday, 21 Democrats and independents who caucus with the Democrats have not called on Menendez to resign, including Schumer and Menendez himself. 3 of those who have not called on Menendez to resign sit on the Senate Ethics Committee and therefore will not comment on any issue that may come before their panel." Chuck Schumer went on to say, quote, "For senators, there's a much, much higher standard. And clearly, when you read the indictment, Senator Menendez fell way, way below that standard. Tomorrow, he will address the Democratic caucus, and we'll see what happens after that." End quote. This is a bunch of bullshit, Chuck Schumer. This is a bunch of bullshit, Chuck Schumer. Like I said, I told y'all yesterday, when we had the situation with Al Franken, they immediately called for his ouster. Immediately, the Democratic Party was calling for his ouster. Now we have a whole. This is not his first time. The first time he got away on a technicality on the fraud charges. This is the second fraud charges. These are the second fraud charges. And remember, they've had this evidence for over a year now. So they've been working this case for over a year. This is nothing new. Senator Menendez knew what was coming for over a year now and willfully chose. Now, if the Democratic caucus claims that they didn't know, which I refuse to believe, but if they claim they did not know, that's even more reason why Senator Menendez needs to resign, because you willfully kept this from us. Well, we could have gotten in front of this. We could have maybe helped out. anything. So now this gets into the public space and people are looking at us like we're stupid and crazy. And this is more reason why there's becoming a fevered pitch and there is fodder for Chuck Schumer no longer being leader of the Democratic uh, of the majority leader of the Senate. There is cause for him to step down. Chuck Schumer. I ain't talking about Menendez now. I'm talking about Chuck Schumer as majority leader and leader of the Democrats in the Senate because he's feckless at this point. Tell me what I'm asking you all in the chat. Can y'all tell me something of significance that Chuck Schumer really has been responsible for since he took office as majority leader, or back when he took office as leader, he was minority leader at that point. But since he was leader of the Democrats in the Senate, what has he done at all of any significance since he took the leadership of the Democrats in the Senate? He's feckless, spineless, useless, and you let the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, the walking zombie, Mitch McConnell, beat you every which way but loose. Mitch McConnell has been, anytime he can, dog walking Chuck Schumer. And Chuck Schumer just sits there and takes it. I don't understand it. I don't know why. I don't know what. Bob Menendez is not the hill you want to die on. Bob Menendez is of no consequence to the Democratic Party. We know of nothing significant that he has added to Congress since he's been in Congress. So let's be clear. We know that if he does resign or is ousted, the New Jersey governor is going to appoint a Democrat to go to that seat. If and when he does come out, they do have another election, another Democrat is going to be elected to that position of senator for the great state of New Jersey. So what the hell are you coddling this guy for? Hell, Cory Booker, the junior senator out of the same state of New Jersey, already said that Bob Menendez needs to resign. Cory Booker is on record, and he's the junior senator out of New Jersey. Chuck Schumer, your whole legacy as leader of the Dems in the Senate is going to be worth nothing. Speaking of leaders of political parties, or political leaders that ain't shit, I introduced to you fucking Jim Jordan, Representative Jim Jordan out of the great state of Ohio, who is the chair of the House Judiciary Committee. He ain't shit. You want to talk about a bitch who ain't shit? He really ain't shit. Let me read this to you. Here's the headline. Jim Jordan fires back at Fani Willis's, quote, hostile response to the House probe. I want to read this because I really want to flush this out for y'all so y'all can hear this. Pay attention, people. Class, I need you to pay attention. I'm going to read this article for y'all. I need you to pay attention to this article, okay? Because I want to hear this. I told y'all a couple weeks ago about how the legislature in Georgia, the Georgia House and Senate, were trying to come at Fani Willis. Now we have the United States House of Representatives through the Judiciary Committee trying to come at Fani Willis again. Let me read this to you. House Judiciary Committee Chair Jim Jordan, Republican of Ohio, on Wednesday fired back at Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis for her, quote, hostile response, end quote, to his request to turn over documents related to her prosecution of former President Trump. In a letter dated Wednesday, Jordan said that Willis's response to his request only, quote, reinforces the committee's concern that your prosecutorial conduct is geared more toward advancing a political cause and your own notoriety than toward promoting the fair and just administration of the law, end quote. He went on to say in the letter Congress in general and this committee in particular have a strong legislative interest in ensuring that popularly elected local prosecutors do not misuse their law enforcement authority to target federal officials for political reasons. We can only conclude from your hostile response to the committee's oversight that you are actively and aggressively engaged in such a scheme. So, what he's saying is because Fannie Willis is, the prosecutor for the case against Donald Trump, that allegedly she's over here having prosecutorial misconduct because she's targeting a federal official in the form of Donald Trump. Newsflash, he's no longer a federal official, sir. Secondly, she didn't come up with these charges on her own. There was a whole grand jury that was, convened, and the grand jury is the ones who brought the charges against Donald John, not Fannie Willis. Fannie Willis is the prosecutors whose job it is to take the case and, prosecute Donald John. She ain't the one that put the charges out there. Citizens within the great state of Georgia, Fulton County, determined that based on the evidence presented that he needed to be charged. But who am I? I am not a legal expert. Let me continue to read. Jordan has sent letters to each of the prosecutorial entities investigating Trump, and in his one to Willis in late August, just hours before Trump surrendered to Fulton County Jail, he asked her to turn over all records related to her work on the 2020 election interference case. So you want this woman to, of course, you're going to send her this letter just hours before Trump, your boy, has to turn himself in, turn over all of her evidence in the case to you and the Republicans on the House Judiciary Committee, Jim Jordan. You fucking kidding me? Let me keep. Fannie Willis responded to Jim Jordan's request in a scathing letter on September 7th, attacking his, quote, basic understanding of the law, its practice, and the ethical obligations of attorneys general and prosecutors specifically, end quote. Yes, ma'am, Fannie, let his ass know. She went on to say in her scathing letter, quote, your attempt to invoke congressional authority to intrude upon and interfere with an active criminal case in Georgia is flagrantly at odds with the Constitution. There is absolutely no support for Congress purporting to second guess or somehow supervise an ongoing Georgia criminal investigation and prosecution. That violation of Georgia's sovereignty is offensive and will not stand. End of quote. Shout out to Fannie Willis. Let his ass have it. She went on to say that Jordan was so taken with concerns related to her county, he should investigate the numerous threats she faced since bringing RICO charges against Donald Trump and his 18 co-defendants. I know that's right. If you're so concerned about what's going on, how about you investigate all of these people making threats? Your people, all of these racist ass MAGA people making threats against my life and threats against the members of the grand jury. Doxing these people, putting these people information all over Al Gore's good internet and threatening their lives. Since you're so concerned about what's going on in the great state of Georgia and Fulton County, since Congress needs something to do, how about y'all go do that? A mess. Y'all see what's going on here. It's a mess. It's a whole. Jim Jordan is one of the worst people walking the face of the planet. He's an awful individual, both inside and out. Just horrible. Y'all see what's going on. We need to continue to uplift Fannie Willis and the entire her entire office and staff. in the district attorney's office down there to Fulton County, because they're coming at that woman left, right, and sideways. We're gonna get to the government shutdown in just a second. In another bit of political news today, we got some good politics today. Good politics today. So this involves governor death sentence indirectly. Okay, so this bit of information does indirectly hit governor death sentence. Hold on one second. Let me pull this up. Because we got a lot going on in politics. So if you recall, we reported a couple months ago that the Supreme Court came back and told Alabama that they had to redraw their congressional districts. If you recall, that was a mandate from the United States Supreme Court, because that case made it all the way to the Supreme Court. Alabama ceremoniously gave the middle finger to the United States Supreme Court and still drew their map with only one. They had, I believe Alabama had 7 congressional districts. They had 6 of them that were all white and only one that was majority black, even though Alabama is 1/4. Black people make up about 25% of the population of the great state of Alabama. And in areas around places like Montgomery and Birmingham, where you have a large volume of black people, one would think that, or even areas like Huntsville, one would think that there could be a congressional district with majority black people in those areas, because the populations of those areas are majority black. But no, they purposely carved out the map to make sure that the density of black people was, dispersed between multiple districts, instead of thereby giving them the minority in that respective district, and making sure that black people only had one majority congressional district, so as to keep the state as red as they want to keep it. So it got back to the Supreme Court again, and the Supreme Court came back and said, I know the fuck you lying, but this may indirectly affect governor death sentence. Let me read this to you. This is coming from the AP News. On the same day Alabama black voters scored a victory in the United States Supreme Court, a federal trial opened in Florida in which lawyers say Republican Governor Ron DeSantis violated the U.S. Constitution by deliberately dismantling a congressional district that favored black candidates. Remember, I talked about when we had the 2022 elections and we had the results of Florida, and we broke down what happened in Florida. We had a whole breakdown of what happened in Florida here on this platform. One of the things we talked about, the major concern in Florida, was the fact that, and we talked about all of this happening even leading up to the election, Governor DeSantis, if you recall, as we reported here, was given a congressional map by the majority Republican legislature of Florida. He looked at it. He told them that's not red enough. It's too much blue on this map. If you give me this, I promise you, I'm going to veto it. And some of y'all, I'm going to tell y'all won't be keeping y'all seats in the Florida legislature. I'm going to purposely campaign against you. And so what did the legislature do? They acquiesced to them. He went and drew his own map and purposely carved out all of the areas that were majority black. If you go up and down the I-4 corridor, which hits Tampa, Orlando, Daytona area, he carved that out and made that from turned from blue to red. Because if you look at the 2022 map, that whole area turned from blue to red, which is why he had such an overwhelming defeat of Charlie Crist in the election. He in the Tallahassee area, which is another blue area, in the greater Tallahassee area, where you have a lot of colleges like FAMU, Florida State, even Tallahassee Community College, and the greater area, you have Leon County, you have Gadsden County next to it, and Jefferson County, Gadsden County to the west, Jefferson County to the east. That's another blue area, and he carved that out and made sure that he turned a large majority of that area from blue to red with his new map. So what we had was this strategic gerrymandering that happened similar to what happened in Alabama. The problem is there wasn't enough. The feckless ass Dems in Florida didn't try to put up a fight. At least the Dems in Alabama put up a fight and said, hey, this shit just not gonna stand like this. And that's how their case got up to the Supreme Court, because they sued the state of Alabama. Weak ass Dems in Florida didn't do that. They just let it go. And so the DNC on the national level didn't fight it either. And therefore, that's how Florida went from what was a purple state to just being pure, unadulterated, bloody red because of the gerrymandering. Not because the votes changed, but because of the gerrymandering. So now that the Supreme Court has come out today and told Alabama they have to change their congressional map. Matter of fact, they have a committee that that has put out 3 different versions of a congressional map for Alabama, and then those 3 versions will the final version will be decided by a tribunal of 3 judges, and that was the ruling that came down from the United States Supreme Court. So Alabama is not going to even have a choice in it. They're not going to even be able to draw the map. It's being drawn by an independent group of people, and then that gave 3. And they've already done it, and they gave 3 versions, and then those 3 versions they're going to be the final version will be decided by that tribunal of 3 judges. So with that win, now all of a sudden people want to look at Florida, because even the ultra uber conservative Supreme Court said, hey bro, now this is, even for us, this is a little too far. You don't went too far when they decide that it's too far. So my thing is, we have been talking about this on this platform well over a year ago about what Ron DeSantis was doing to the voting map in Florida. Well, Florida is not the only place that this happened. We know this happened in North Carolina. We know this happened in Texas. And when the Senate Senate statistics came out, and it became time for them to not Senate, census statistics came out, and it became time to reappropriate congressional districts, we had all of this gerrymandering going on. Now, the Supreme Court kind of upheld what happened in North Carolina, unfortunately, but in Alabama, it was just so blatant. Even they said, no, we can't do this. So now they're looking at Florida to see what could happen in Florida. So that's the background. Just wanted to give you that context and background as to what we have going on in Florida. So that's why there's now a federal trial that's been opened in Florida, in which lawyers say Governor DeSantis violated the U.S. Constitution by deliberately dismantling a congressional district that favored Black candidates. It's one of several lawsuits around the country that are challenging Republican-drawn maps that they say are gerrymandered to diminish the ability of Black voters to select a candidate of their choice. If successful, the lawsuit could help Democrats as they try to regain control of the House. The focus in Florida is a district that stretched more than 200 miles to connect Black voters in Jacksonville and in the majority Black county of Gadsden County, about 200 miles to the west. Now, Jacksonville is way on the Atlantic side, on the coast, on the northeast coast of Florida. Everybody pretty much knows where Jacksonville is. Gadsden County, I told you, is the county immediately to the west of Tallahassee, which is in Leon County. That's over 200 miles. And there's a district that he drew. He drew a district that split the Black vote, that goes from Jacksonville all the way over to Gadsden County. You're covering 200 miles of panhandle real estate purposely trying to get all of those white, rural, ultra conservative voters in that particular district. I know this shit sounds crazy as hell, doesn't it? But that's what we had all over the great state of Florida. So the map that Governor DeSantis grew, according to the lawsuit, helped Republicans earn a majority in the House and left black voters in North Florida with only white representation in Washington, D.C. The area stretched about 360 miles from the Alabama border to the Atlantic Ocean and south from the Georgia border to Orlando in Central Florida. Look at where we're talking about. We have districts drawn that way. We have districts that are literally drawn that goes from the Alabama line, which is way to the west in a whole nother time zone, all the way to Jacksonville. We have lines that are drawn basically from the Florida Georgia border all the way down to Orlando. It's like a 3-4 hour drive just so that they could have that. So this is what we got going on. That's the context. I'm going to keep monitoring this because I really want to see where this goes in court, whether or not this makes it to the United States Supreme Court. There's also lawsuits filed against the state of Georgia, against the state of California, against the state of Texas, and a few other states about gerrymandering. So I'll keep you all posted on that. Another story that we covered here before everybody else, but then now everybody wants to be on top of it because we break news here. Remember the story we told you about the Korean, the black soldier that escaped to North Korea? Remember that story? We did that story, and then we did a couple updates on it. Final update: he is in U.S. custody. He is in U.S. custody. The United States worked with Sweden, and Sweden. The reason they work with Sweden because Sweden has a relationship with North Korea, and they work with Sweden and a little bit of China, but mainly with Sweden to negotiate with North Korea to get him released to United States custody. So that young man, Travis King, the one who ran across the border, he is back in U.S. custody. You already know he ain't finna see the light of day for a long time. They said he was in good spirits. He was in good health and good spirits. I don't know how much good spirits he's gonna be in once he gets into, his court martial cases and stuff like that, and they take him to the Briggs. But he was in good spirits nonetheless. So, but he is in U.S. custody. Now, you're going to hear people talking about how China was very involved, but China was only a little bit involved. This mainly happened because of Sweden and the Swedish ambassador and the work that he did to put this on in order or to get this negotiating to happen. There was I was reading today that one of the last times we did some major negotiations with Sweden in a case like this was to get some journalists released, and that was under the Clinton and Al Gore administration. Kim Jong-un was not even in charge. His daddy was the leader at that point. And there was, if you recall, there were pictures. The negotiations said that President Clinton himself had to come to North Korea and take pictures with the then president of North Korea, leader of North Korea, so that he could send it all around the world. It was a whole bunch of fuckery that the American government had to coalesce and acquiesce to in the demands of North Korea in order to get those people out. They didn't have to do all of that this time. So Travis King is has been retrieved from North Korea, Now, what's gonna happen to him after this, bruh? Now, from what I'm understanding, they kept him there for a while because they wanted to make sure he had been quarantined, and he didn't have COVID and so forth. And we'll see. But he back in custody. Y'all know we reported on that quite a bit over here. So I'm glad to state that he's now back in U.S. custody. I'm gonna do this last story because I know we're running up against it. I know Really Beach probably getting ready to go live anytime soon, so I need to prepare for that. So y'all know we have the um um government shutdown that is the impending government shutdown. So here's what happened. I mean, I could read the article, but I don't want to do that. The the Senate passed a bipartisan. Oh, really? We say she's not going live, so we can take our time. Okay. The Senate passed a bipartisan stopgap on the to keep the government funded. Bipartisan. I think it passed like 77-19 or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like it was overwhelmingly bipartisan, right? Kevin McCarthy said, "Yeah, y'all might have did that, Senate. That shit is dead on arrival when it gets down here to the House. I want no parts of it." Basically, ensuring that there's going to be some type of government shutdown. Once again, we have weak, tired ass politicians holding the government hostage. Holding the government hostage. So now they're just going to have this whole government shutdown. Now the credits, our whole, credit score as a country, it will now be in jeopardy of falling again. It's just a mess. They apparently had a closed door meeting. The GOP had the House GOP members had a closed door conference meeting today, and McCarthy informed them during that meeting that he will not bring the Senate's legislation to the floor for a vote. He ain't even gonna bring it to the floor for a vote. It's dead on arrival. So don't even bring. He's not even gonna bring that to the floor. And the Senate voted last night to pass the stopgap to try to make sure that we keep the government funded. He said he wanted no parts of it. The stopgap would have kept the government funded through November 17th. The legislation, according to what I read, also includes roughly about $6.15 billion in funding for Ukraine, $5.99 billion in disaster assistance, and would temporarily extend the expiring authority of the FAA. So we got a lot of things. We're holding up monies to go to Florida for the hurricane. We're holding up monies that's going to Hawaii because of the fires. We're holding up the FAA could be in jeopardy. Now Ukraine, that's a whole nother issue. I'll let y'all. I'm not. Ooh, I don't have the energy to go down the Ukraine road right now because my opinion on Ukraine is not a popular opinion. That's a whole nother story. But the things that I'm concerned about is the monies for disaster assistance and the and what this may do to the FAA. I may bring that if we do have a complete government shutdown because of this. I do want to unpack what this could do to the FAA, which is very important. So I told y'all what y'all have going on in the United States House is a three-ring circus. It's a Yeehaw Junction down there. It's a fucking insane asylum down there in the House. It's just a goddamn mess. A goddamn mess. So now one of the reasons that the House is having an issue is the House said y'all giving all of this money to Ukraine, but y'all ain't did nothing about the southern border. And until y'all decide what y'all gonna do with the southern border and close the southern border, we ain't try to hear nothing about y'all giving no money to Ukraine. That's one of the issues that House Republicans are having taking issue with. So it's a mess. What's so sickening is every time we get to this point, they can't come to the point where they can come together to do something that's for an extensive amount of time. It's always, oh, we'll just keep the light on for the lights on for 30 days. You know what it's like? It's like that person who run their car on E. You know what I'm saying? You all get on their car, get in their car always on E, right? And then the one time they go to the gas, they say, man, I need to go get some gas. You thinking they finna go fill up the gas tank, at least get it to half a tank. They go in there and get $5 worth of gas because they be like, oh, I just need to get to where I'm going and back. If you don't, like, what type of broke ass, that's what's going on. Every time we get ready for these government shutdowns, they do just enough. Oh, well, we'll do this stopgap, and that'll keep the government running for the next 30, 45 days. And then after that, we don't know. Like, what the fuck are y'all doing? Like, we look like clowns, which is why I told you they're running a whole three-ring circus over there. Three-ring circus. Hey, Symmetry. A damn mess. A goddamn mess. So that's the update on the government shutdown. I had a couple other stories, but I'm kind of tired now. I'm tired. I'm hungry. I'm broke down. I'm busted, and I'm disgusted. So I'm gonna end right there today. Listen, put some Shondos in the chat for me. We've been on here an hour and a half. Definitely didn't want to neglect giving you all a politics of it all today. Definitely did not want to neglect that. Yeah, I gave you a politics of it all today. I could have done a run your mouth, and maybe we could have talked the fact that across my timeline was Tyreek Hill of the Miami Dolphins. You know, former Kansas City Chief Tyreek Hill, now Miami Dolphin running back Tyreek Hill, where he was playing PlayStation with Mike Evans. Told Mike Evans when he retired he wanted to become a porn star. I really wanted to cover that. I might do it tomorrow on Run Your Mouth. Sir, if you want to be a credible porn star, do you have the equipment to be a good porn star? Inquiring minds want to know. We need to see the goods and see the pictures. While you may be, while you're one of the fastest men in the NFL and one of the best wide receivers in the NFL right now, we don't know if you would make just as good of a porn star as you do wide receiver. So we're going to, how in the NFL, they have the NFL combine where you got to run the 40 and do all types of drills in order to have the people, at the different teams determine whether or not you have what it takes in order to be a professional football player. We need to have a porn star combine where we can see what you got going on to make sure that you have what it takes, sir, in order to be a porn star when you retire. I'm just saying. So, yeah, Shondos to everybody. Hope y'all enjoyed today. We might do that tomorrow, y'all. We may do that tomorrow, but I just want to take one more gander, just make sure no breaking news came across my desk politically. Let me just check one more time. Is there any breaking news? Y'all know we like to break news over here. Excuse me. If you missed the first 10 minutes, go back and watch the first 10 minutes of this live We gave, some great words of wisdom when we talked about breaking a plate. You may not know what that means when I say break a plate. Go back over to the first 10 minutes of this live and listen to it. And hopefully it will, you know, give you some good words, um, inspirational words. We have some great inspirational words today. Yeah, I have no breaking news. I could have talked about Trump and the fact that he could possibly lose a lot of his businesses and real estates. But until it happens, I don't want to report on that yet with what's happening with our girl Letitia James. Shout out to Letitia James, Attorney General for the great state of New York, Letitia James. We know we have that case that's coming up. A judge just ruled in her favor. But there's still a trial that has to happen. So we'll wait for the trial to happen and wait for there to be, adjudications. So we have real substantive things to report on because y'all know how this goes with Trump. You have little things here and there which are just benchmarks on the journey, but until we get to the finish line, I don't want to hear about it. Talk to me when we get to the finish line. Anyway, we about to get up out of here. Yeah, y'all know what else I wanted to break. I may still do this tomorrow. I want to break down my real feelings on Joseph Robinette going and being on the picket line for UAW. My thoughts on it will probably surprise you because I don't feel the way a lot of people feel about him going and being a part of the picket lines down there to the UAW. But that's a whole nother story. Anyway, that's all I got for y'all today. As I always say, I love y'all. I love on y'all. Thank you all for being vocal, present, and active. Thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for any and all contributions that you make to the channel. They're much obliged and much appreciated. Y'all know how we do when we do our politics of it all. We have a good time over here. We learn, we dissect some stuff. We really unpack a whole lot of things. And so certainly I won't neglect my politics of it all. Y'all know programming note, I will be in town this weekend. So we will have a I almost said teacher project. We do need to have a teacher project 2.0. Y'all blame really be, not me. I'm sorry, really be. I didn't mean that. Y'all can blame me too. Blame both me and really be that we haven't had teacher project 2.0. We're going to get back on the wagon with regard to teacher project 2.0. We got to get that to y'all. It may not be on a Wednesday. We may just have to do another day and just take the time doing that other day to deal with teacher project 2.0. But we're going to get y'all to teacher project 2.0 sometime too. Anyway, yeah. So let's look out for that. I'll be live again tomorrow. Friday, I'll come up with something and we'll do something fun on Friday, and then we'll have silly Saturday on Saturday. That's all I got for y'all, ladies and gentlemen. Until next time, thank y'all for coming. Y'all drive safely. I'm out. Really be say blame my job.